Playoffs start now for these two. Forget the first 17 weeks. Tampa Bay loses, they're done. Panthers could still take the division even if they lose, and Atlanta beats New Orleans. Bucs, at home this time around, have to figure out how to stop the bleeding. Have lost 4 in a row, 7 of their last 8.
And now Mayfield's pass is picked off. That's the second turnover today.
In come the Panthers, still playing ping pong with wins and losses after whiffing last week on a chance to lock up a postseason bid.
Young on 3rd and 6. And Young is sacked again. Loss of 11.
Since week 7, Panthers have gone win-loss, all the way to where we are now, 5-5 over their last 10. So they're hoping the pattern holds true this week. It did when they beat Tampa just a few weeks back, week 16. Bryce Young had a nice game, throwing for 2 TDs, no interceptions. Carolina's defense held Baker to 145 yards passing. Only 1 TD picked him off to seal the game.
Throws, and it's intercepted! It's a takeaway for the Carolina Panthers.
Ultimately, that ends the game. Ransom with the interception.
Mayfield followed that up by putting up big yards in their loss to Miami. 346 yards, threw for a couple of TDs.
Mayfield throws. Nice. End zone. Touchdown. Chris Godwin.
That's 270 plus yards, 2 of his last 3, but fewer than 195 in 5 of his last 7, and he threw 2 more INTs, has a 4-game pick streak, at least 1 in 6 of his last 7. Buccaneers offense only 17 points versus Miami, so fewer than 21 points, 5 of their last 6.
This will be and it's blocked. Kick was blocked.
Panthers secondary, their defense as a whole, still playing as well as they did versus Mayfield and company, held Sam Darnold to a 77 rate, just 5.4 yards per attempt, only 147 yards picked him off, so they're coming in with swagger.
Darnold will throw it, take a shot, end zone, intercepted, Mike Jackson.
Defense gave up 27 points, but 7 of those came on a 1-yard run set up by their offense turning it over. Panthers pass rush sacked Darnold 3 times.
Darnold, he ran backwards and back into the pressure, sacked by Wanham.
That pass rush, at least showing signs of life the last few weeks, got to Mayfield twice week 16. He took 3 more at the hands of the Dolphins.
Mayfield hit from behind, ball came loose. It was Bradley Chubb, and the Dolphins recover.
He threw 44 times, so 3 kinda comes with the territory. Mike Evans scored again, only 31 yards, exactly what he did versus Carolina, 31 yards and a TD. Chris Godwin, also a Tampa paint job versus the Fins, a season-high 108 yards.
And Godwin is out across the 40 midfield, 59-yard catch and run.
And Jalen McMillan also coming in off a season-best game, 114 yards, so both previously hurt guys warmed up at least.
Pump fake on 2nd down. Mayfield throws. McMillan makes the catch. Having a big day.
Bucs rush offense versus Miami stayed cold. 53 yards, 3.3 a run. Bucky Irving, 19 yards, 2.1 per attempt. Hasn't finished at 3.9 or better in 5 straight.
On 2nd down.
Nice play.
Irving pulled down from behind.
Carolina held him to 3.7 a try, held Kenneth Walker to 3.4 a carry last week, but gave up 110 yards to Zach Charbonnet, 6.1 a carry, 2 TDs.
Oh, what a cut by Charbonnet! The acceleration!
Their inability to handle Charbonnet hurt, but not as much as their offense sputtering out to 10 points, 1 for 11 on 3rd down. Bryce Young only 54 passing yards, 2.3 an attempt, made his 24 pass attempts almost not worth taking.
Drives it downfield, intercepted! The pick made by Love.
Maybe just chalk it up to being outmatched by Seattle's defense. He looked better versus Tampa Bay's secondary, and they just gave up a 118 rate to Quinn Ewers. Not many yards, but 2 TDs didn't pick him off. More or less what they gave up to Young.
And now Ewers throws, end zone, touchdown!
100-plus rate allowed to Captain Kirk, Young, and Ewers in their last 3, but their play versus Miami's passing attack didn't prevent them from holding the Dolphins to just 20 points, 4 for 12 on on third down, did enough to win.
Viewers looking for Waddle. Morrison able to break it up.
Panthers pass catchers, T-Mac, Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, all fewer than 17 yards versus Seattle. Rico Dowdle, their most effective skill set guy, 59 yards, 4.6 per.
And he's brought down across the 45. That's a first down run for Rico Dowdle.
Only 29 yards versus Tampa's front, though. That group having more trouble with Devon Achane, who they ceded 83 yards to on 4.6 per handoff, gave up a 32-yard run to Jalen Wright, too.
Hands it off to Wright, who found a big hole inside the 15, and Whitfield drags him out of bounds.
Panthers had lost 9 of the previous 10 games versus Tampa Bay before beating them a couple of weeks ago. The last time they pulled a sweep, 2017 season. We reviewed their first ever game against each other already, last preview, a Tampa Bay win, so let's see Carolina's first ever win over the Bucs, which happened the next year in 1996.
Defense again took center stage against Tampa Bay as Carolina administered the season's only shutout. And with their fourth straight victory, the Panthers' 9-4 record made them contenders for the NFC West title.
What's up?
It's a Saturday night special like no other. Winner not only takes the division, they get a week off before the playoffs as the number 1 seed in the NFC. Seattle Seahawks on the road, flying south on a 6-game win streak.
Oh, what a cut by Charbonnet! The acceleration! Big gain inside the 20.
They land in San Francisco to take on the 49ers, also winners of their last 6 straight.
Purdy with a clean pocket. It's complete. It's Jawan Jennings to the pylon. Touchdown! The Niners take the lead!
The Saturday night thing is cool, but let's be real. This deserved to be the Sunday night football year-ender. It's a bookender either way. These two played each other week 1, defensive battle. Jackson Smith and Jigba went for 124 yards, but San Francisco held Sammy D to 150 yards, no touchdowns. The Hawks picked off Brock Purdy twice, but they also gave up 2 touchdowns and 277 yards to him. Christian McCaffrey with 69 rush yards and 73 receiving yards. Niners won a close one, 17-13.
With a toss to McCaffrey, and Christian McCaffrey pinballed ahead to midfield. He's already fast, and then you shoot him out of a cannon.
Purdy late season ball significantly better than his early season play. Back-to-back 5 spots from Purdy, ran 2 touchdowns in versus Chicago, threw for 303 yards, a 118 rate.
Purdy to the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Purdy with 295 plus yards passing and 100 plus rate in his last 3 straight games. He's been very BCB as of late. San Francisco's offense has been too. 42 points versus Chicago, 7 for 10 on third down, 5 for 5 in the red zone. That's back-to-back 40 burgers, 37 plus points in their last 3 straight.
Purdy pulling back, stepping forward, throwing on the run, touchdown! What a play, Purdy!
It has been the Brock Purdy show out here tonight.
San Francisco's offense lit up Chicago's defense without George Kittle, too, or Trent Williams for most of the game, both hoping to make it back for this one, but have to wait and see. Even without Trent, Brock only took 1 sack on 33 pass attempts, but Seattle's front is way more dangerous than Chicago's. They sacked Bryce Young twice, top 10 in bags, held him to just 54 yards passing, a minuscule 2.3 per attempt, picked him off once, held Carolina to 10 points, just 1 for 11 on third down.
Drives it downfield, intercepted! The pick made by Love.
Just a fantastic defensive back play.
Seattle's holding quarterbacks to the 4th lowest rate in 2025 to 6.1 yards per attempt. That's tops in the league. 2nd fewest yards per catch allowed. So Purdy could really use Kittle, and another big game from CMC. 140 rush yards on a very healthy 6.1 per attempt. Punched one in versus the Bears.
And McCaffrey, goodness gracious, if he gets running the football, no telling what this offense could be.
McCaffrey has run for 115 plus yards back-to-back games, over 5.5 yards per carry in each of his last 2. Chicago's run defense, one of the worst in the NFL. Seattle's the best. They held McCaffrey to 3-1 a try back in week 1, but they did allow Rico Dowdle to go for 4.9 per on his 12 carries last week.
The handoff to Dowdle. Takes the lane. First down run for Rico Dowdle. Nice acceleration.
McCaffrey also had 41 receiving yards versus the Bears. Needs 110 to crack 1,000. Ricky Pearsall led them in receiving yards week 17 with 85.
Middle, Pearsall having a night. That's a gain of 19.
Pearsall 85 plus yards back-to-back games. Juwan Jennings 41 yards and a TD a week ago.
Who's got the most TDs this year? For the San Francisco 49ers, Juwan Jennings.
And Jake Tonjes filled in nicely for Kittle again, scored with 60 yards on 7 catches.
Purdy in the middle, it's caught. Tonjes with the catch.
Niners needed every bit of that production to pull off that dramatic win. Their defense gave up 31 points. They gave up 330 yards passing to Caleb Williams, 2 touchdowns, didn't pick him off, didn't sack him once, no shock there.
Free play for Williams, so Caleb looking to launch. Does towards the end zone, touchdown! Colston Loveland!
31 points allowed to Chicago, 27 allowed to a grandpa-driven offense the week before, 24 allowed to the Titans the week before that. And now they get a Seattle offense that's been good for 26-plus points in 5 of its last 6 games, 8 of their last 10, after slapping Carolina with 27.
Hand it, Charbonnet! The power of Charbonnet to the end zone!
Last week's showing fueled by their run game, which isn't their norm per se, but Zach Charbonnet went for 110 yards on 6-1 a carry, scored twice.
Handoff, Charbonnet rips through for the touchdown.
Kenneth Walker, 51 yards, only 3-4 a run. San Francisco's defense didn't play the Bears' rush attack very well either, 110 yards on 5 per try.
It is the run to the right, and there goes Monungai.
They gave up 54 yards and 2 TDs to DeAndre Swift on 6 per handoff, 38 yards to Kyle Monungai on 4.8 a clip. Gave up 94 yards and a TD to tight end Colston Loveland, 138 and a touchdown to Luther Burden. He's good, but he's no Smith and Jigba. JSN over 1,700 yards after tacking on 72 more versus Carolina.
Looking downfield, Darnold. Perfectly placed, Smith and Jigba.
Nothing much from Cooper Kupp or Rashid Shaheed, but a TD and 43 yards from A.J. Barner.
And Darnold's going to throw it, hits his open man. It's Barner cutting it for the touchdown.
His touchdown, Sam Darnold's only touchdown pass last week, also got picked off, only 147 yards for a 77 rate, sub-90 rate games his last 3 straight, and 4 of his last 5.
Take a shot, end zone, intercepted! Over the shoulder for the former Seahawk.
This is a chance for Darnold to redeem himself. He fell flat in that monster year-ender last year, followed it with a dud in the next week's playoff game too, so trying to show January isn't his kryptonite. Niners have taken 7 of the last 8 games versus Seattle, didn't play in the same division until 2002. They've never tied once, which I was really wanting to show, being both these teams' fan bases deserve some fond memories to ponder ahead of this one. Can't do the tip to Niners Empire, so I spun the wheel and said give me the highest scoring game in the rivalry's history.
The heart of Seattle's schedule was dominated by a string of photo finishes and flashbulb heroics. In Mike Holmgren's hometown of San Francisco, Matt Hasselbeck shredded the 49ers for 285 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Matt throws the quick hitch out of the flat. He's got Corin Robinson on the right side. Corin breaks free. He's inside the 15, the 10, the 5. Did he get into the end zone? He did. Touchdown, Seahawks. Looks downfield. He's throwing. He's going for it all. Darrell Jackson has it.
Call it the honeydew matchup of Week 18. The Cantaloupe invited it to the party. Arizona Cardinals head west to Hollywood on an 8-game losing streak.
Looking down the sideline for Wilson, tracking the football, and he can't pull it in.
Maybe the Rams will let them stay on their couch for a day or two, or 200. But LA won't just be horsing around this week. They're the number 6 seed in the NFC with a chance to move up, and Sean McVay said he doesn't want his starters hitting the postseason off a dud.
Down the sideline, and it's broken up by Terrell. No time left on the clock.
The Zoes of the world will tell you Matthew Stafford's MVP hopes are dashed after he looked a little like a fish out of water last week. 3 INTs in one game. Rams offense only good for 17 points. It's like 2 kids were inside his uniform pretending to be him.
Quick throw, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Watts, his second of the night.
The Zeldas of the world, though, will point to the fact that no one is even close to Stafford's league-leading 42 TDs, his 2025 performance still very Secretariat-like. And not only does he have a chance to leave voters with a Filbert-like showing, LA could still end up with the 5 seed. It's not a week off, but they'd get Carolina or Tampa Bay in the first round.
0 for 2 in the red zone, trying to score touchdowns. How about Nacua?
Puka Nacua, he's a Hollywood star and celebrity after the year he's had. What does he know? Does he know things? Yeah, he knows he's tied for the league lead in receptions, and is second in yards behind JSN, leads the NFL in yards per game, and he knows he racked up 167 yards versus Arizona's secondary back in Week 14, 2 TDs.
Down, Stafford sets, throws, caught! Into the end zone.
Arizona's defense gave up 45 points to LA in that one, gave up 281 yards, 3 TDs to Stafford, gave up 37 points to Cincinnati last week, gave up 2 TDs and 305 yards to Joe Burrow. That's too much, man.
Tinsley in motion, the other side it goes to Chase, steps through a tackle at the 10, spins at the 5, Chase diving.
They let the Bengals go 5 for 5 in the red zone, gave up 101 yards to Chase Brown on 4-6 a carry plus 2 scores.
Chase Brown coming straight ahead, there goes your fillers, and now you bounce out to the outside.
Kyron ran for 92 yards versus Atlanta, 7.1 per romp, 1,100 plus yards and 10 plus TDs, 3 straight seasons.
Big tackle on the back end. See the stiff arm there by Kyron Williams.
LA's defense mainly has some fine-tuning to do. They held Atlanta to 20 points, held Kirk Cousins to 126 yards, not one Falcon with 40 receiving yards.
3rd down and 7. Protection is there. London downfield, nearly picked by Emmanuel Forbes.
0 sacks on Cousins' 20 pass attempts, though, and then there was Bijan. Gave up that 93-yard run to Robinson, 195 rush yards when it was all over.
That's pretty good. There's not a lot of backs in this league that make defenders look that silly.
Arizona doesn't have a Bijan, don't really have much of a rush attack at all, really. It's mainly Jacoby, Michael Wilson, and Trey, father of the McBride, who will take the field tied with Puka for most catches in 2025. What is this, a crossover episode? McBride hauled in 10 balls last week to break the season record for tight end receptions, 76 yards and a touchdown versus Cincinnati.
Again, steps away, throws for McBride in the end zone, and it's an Arizona touchdown.
Wilson racked up 89 more yards and a touchdown. He's now 93 yards away from his first 1,000-yard season.
Fighting his way down the sidelines, he is in for an Arizona touchdown.
Wilson and McBride accounted for 23 of Brissett's 37 pass attempts last week, kind of the norm. Jacoby is looking to put the finishing touches on a career year. 2 more TDs last week, no picks, 21 touchdowns for the year, has tossed at least a pair in 9 of his 11 starts.
Kobe Brissett, he's under duress. I mean, I thought he was going to get sacked for sure.
Nobody tells you when your season ends that you get a free churro, but that's the view from halfway down. Rams victorious over the Cardinals 15 of their last 18 meetings. Happiest any Rams fan has ever been watching the scoreboard versus the Cards, 1985.
Wide to the left is Brown, back to throw. Brock fires it over the middle, wide open. Tony Hunter at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Dieter Brock fired 4 touchdown passes, and Eric Dickerson rushed for 2 more scores as the Rams bombed the St. Louis Cardinals for their first division title in 6 years and their 3rd consecutive playoff appearance.
And the Rams are the Western Division champions as they head for the locker room. The final score with the Rams 26-14 over St. Louis.
Battle for Ohio, Chapter 2, Cleveland making the short in-state trip this time. Browns showing they don't care one bit about draft slot last week. We're here for the dubs.
Looking to the end zone, and it is incomplete! The Browns have pulled off the upset.
Nothing tank-like about the Bengals either. Cincinnati at home. Houday had the ghost of seasons past visit again last week, showing them what could have been.
Goes to Chase, steps through a tackle at the 10, spins at the 5. Chase diving for the goal line, touchdown Cincinnati.
No 500 records on the line, no #1 draft picks either. Just a couple of teams from the Ohio State, Akron pros, Canton Bulldog style, playing some January football. This is a bookend game for each. They played in week 1. Both teams kind of left the field feeling optimistic, like the Bengals defense holding a team to 16 points, picking off the quarterback twice.
Play fake to Ford, pressured again. Flacco guns over the middle, almost picked off. No, it is. It's picked off by Anderson.
Picked off their own quarterback twice, actually, Joe Flacco, who now backs up the guy he lost to. Browns were thinking, we just competed with a team expected to be good. Maybe we're good too. But here's the most important takeaway from that game. Joe Burrow was dropped 3 times, 2 at the hands of one Myles Garrett.
To him, Burrow to throw up in the pocket, and he's going down! Joe Burrow, sack!
This is Garrett's last chance to tie or break the single-season sack record. Didn't pick up one last week. Burrow last week took 3 to the Cardinals, has taken 2 to 3 in 3 straight games.
Burrow in trouble again, and Burrow goes down. It's Dalvin Tomlinson.
Didn't slow him down. Over 300 yards passing, 2 TDs, no picks.
Burrow looking for Higgins on the sideline. He's open, and he drops it in beautifully.
Guided Cincy to 37 points. His offense is going for 31 or more, 5 of his 6 starts.
Extra pressure, it's picked up. Burrow steps up. Throwing on the run, open on the sideline.
Now they go up against a Cleveland defense that held the Steelers to 6 points last week. No touchdowns, held Aaron Rodgers to 168 yards, just 4.3 yards per attempt.
3rd and 6, they go back that way, and the ball comes out of the hands.
Did not have to worry about DK though. They will have Jamar Chase to worry about this week. He caught both of Joe Shiesty's Week 17 touchdowns, 60 yards that put him over 1,300 for the year.
Burrow to the air, to Chase, to the end zone for the touchdown.
Chase with 5 straight 1,000-plus yard years, not chasing any personal career bests, not close to the Jackson Smith and Jigbas and Pukas of the world in yards, but could take the receptions crown with a big game. Nothing major on the line for T. Higgins, but there is for Chase Brown, closing in on his first ever 1,000-yard year, 2 touchdowns, 101 yards last week, now at 947.
And it's Brown. And this time, Brown is in. His 2nd rushing touchdown.
Needs 53 versus a Cleveland front that gave up 64 yards to Jaylen Warren, 5.3 a pop last week. Brown's offense, 13 points in their win, so clearly can't take much credit for the upset. Shedeur Sanders, 2 picks, 2 or 3 INTs in his last 3 straight, 75 rating last week, sub-76 rate, 3 straight games.
Buying time, heaving it, desperation throw. Not a good one. Not a good one at all.
I hope 2026 treats these 2 teams better. There has to be a Luke Skywalker out there for Cleveland. There has to be a Walter Socek, defensive coordinator, out there for Cincinnati. Someone needs to draw that line which other offenses do not cross. Don't go anywhere, though. Make sure to weigh in on the playoff matchups in the comments section next week. 1970, first time Cleveland and Cincinnati met on the gridiron, was an all-time revenge match game. First time the legend Paul Brown would face his former team after being fired by Cleveland owner Art Modell. What a game.
The next week, in one of the dramatic moments in sport, Paul Brown returned to Cleveland after 8 years. The game was the official beginning of intrastate warfare. Despite hard hitting by the Browns, Cincinnati took a 10-0 lead. Then Big Walter Johnson started Cleveland off by steamrolling Virgil Carter in the end zone for 2 points. 6 plays later, Bill Nelson, back in the lineup again, hit Kelly in the corner, and the Browns were within 1. Disaster soon struck, and the Browns fell further behind. But the bandage brigade of the Browns would not give up. Kelly's great run and Nelson's pass to Milt Morn rallied the Browns and gave Coach Collier a throat-grabbing 30-27 victory over the Bengals.
Giving this preview the year-end grades treatment, that's why it's so long, since neither team is playing for anything playoff-related. Hard to know who plays this week and for how long. Packers are locked into the number 7 slot in the NFC after treating Derrick Henry like the king he is.
Pitch it to him. Good block by Ricard. Henry gets to the outside. Here's the speed by Henry. Down the sideline, he's tripped up.
Green Bay's primary incentive to win this week, avoid hitting the postseason on a 4-game losing streak. Vikings' incentive, they're at home in front of Skull Nation, can walk out of 2025 with a winning record at least.
Raymond, they kept him in bounds, and that will do it. The Minnesota Vikings.
Vikings could also finish the year on a 5-game win streak. All of that would be low-key impressive when you consider all they've been through this year at quarterback. Much of the credit for their 8 wins goes to the defense, holding teams to 20 a game, tough on third down, elite in the red zone. Whoever Green Bay rolls out, facing an A- grade D.
Goff steps up. That one's batted down. Harrison Smith.
Vikings just eliminated Detroit from the playoff scene, holding their high-powered offense to 10 points. Picked Jared Goff off twice. Minnesota's secondary holding quarterbacks to a mid-80s rate for the year. Not a ton of picks, but only 15 TD passes allowed, so not even one a game. Holding passing attacks to 168 yards per game. How about another A- for that pass D?
Watch him drive right there. He knows Amon-Ra's job is to try to cross-face.
Will they face Jordan Love? He missed last week with that concussion. Malik Willis filled in as well as they could have hoped. 18 of 21 passing for 288 yards, connected on 4 passes of 30-plus yards, a 134 rate.
Willis will throw on first down and loft one towards the sideline. It is caught!
Plus, he ran for 60 yards, but he did get hurt, so we could see Clayton Tune, who came in for him, or maybe Love, or a little bit of Love anyway, just to get back in the groove before it matters. Averaging 225 yards per game, 23 TDs against only 6 INTs for a 101 rate, solid B-plus type of season.
Love puts everything into it. We call that a 3-ball, which is a moon ball.
Packers averaging a nice 24 a game, average inside the 20, but top shelf when it comes to moving the sticks. Fewer than a turnover a game, say a straight B when it comes to the offense overall.
Watch the fake. Fake is going to hold the defense. Eyes are on the back. Eyes are in the backfield.
Pass catchers, Vikings DBs are squabbling up with. Matthew Golden didn't make the impact they hoped, 27 receiving yards per game average. Dontavian Wicks, just 23 yards per game. Jaden Reed only has 6 games under his belt, 41 yards last week. Romeo Doubs, 62, 724 for 2025. He leads the team, a B- for him.
Love. Wow. Off his back foot, able to
throw a perfect ball to Dobbs.
Dobbs with 6 touchdowns, tied for the team lead with Tucker Kraft, who they lost to injury. He was their 1A grade receiver of the ball. And Christian Watson, he has some incentive to make a few grabs this week. He went for 113 yards and a touchdown versus Baltimore, up to 611 yards for the season in just 10 games. His career high, 620 yards. Feels like a solid B- type of year, and he still feels like he could break through to WR1 status at some point.
Lofts it, sideline, open, caught, Watson out of bounds.
Trench warfare, Packers quarterbacks, 25 sacks taken. Rasheed Walker has given up a team-high 7. Green Bay quarterbacks have faced a slightly above than average pressure rate, but still fewer than 2 sacks taken a game is good stuff, especially when you consider only Walker really made it through the year unscathed.
Stays on his feet. He is inside the 20, picks up the first down and slides.
Gave their line a B-, partially because their rush attack had to grind a lot of games. Josh Jacobs just 4 yards per carry. He's been banged up lately. Only 4 carries for 3 yards last week. 13 TDs on the year, though, so same B grade for him. Needs 71 yards to crack 1,000 for the season.
No one near him. Taken off. Jacobs to the end zone for his longest touchdown run.
Jacobs, or Emmanuel Wilson maybe, facing a Vikes front that held Jahmyr Gibbs to 2.4 a carry last week, holding ball carriers to 4 per attempt for 2025. B+ level rush defense. Won't argue that it's not slightly better.
Thanks so much, AJ. Oh, the ball came out, and another fumble recovery.
And Green Bay's beat-up O-line dealing with a group sitting on a very healthy 45 sacks, 4 guys with 6+, Eric Wilson blitzing his way to 6.5, Dallas Turner, 6, Jalen Redmond, 6, Andrew Van Ginkel leads them with 7, A- pass rush.
Let's see what Goff and company can do here. Not much. Goff gets walloped. Ball comes out.
Round 1 between these two boys, week 12. One of those games that had Purple fans missing Sammy D. J.J. McCarthy took 5 sacks, only threw for 87 yards. Green Bay picked him off twice. They won it 23-6.
Everything that completely go wrong for the Vikings offensively today has now gone wrong.
Minnesota's quarterback play, their Achilles heel this season. J.J. McCarthy, Carson Wentz, back to McCarthy, then on to Max Brosmer. I thought Uncle Rico was the one who could throw the pigskin over a mountain, not Kip. Brosmer's 2 starts have been rough, 4 INTs in his first, then just 51 yards passing with 7 sacks taken for 48 yards lost in his second. Only Cleveland's passing attack has a lower rate with 1 to play. Second fewest passing yards per game, failing effort.
First and goal. Brosmer to throw. Brosmer end zone too high.
Kid Dynamite. Justin Jefferson, 947 frustrating yards, has 1,000+ in 5 straight, so feed him 53+ and get him out, coach. I'm not grading him. He gets the classic NA designation.
Climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness.
Brosmer's other options, Jordan Addison, 602 yards for the year, TJ Hawkinson, 438, Jalen Naylor, 395. Minnesota averaging 20 points per game, brutal on 3rd down, mid in the red zone, had trouble gaining yards, and the turnovers, man. No team with more. Offense, same grade as their passing attack.
As he took it back, sometimes this RPO game, you're trying to make these quick flash fakes and get the ball out quick.
Brosmer gets a Packers secondary that held Mr. Sex Ed, Tyler Huntley, to 107 yards, gave up 60 rush yards to him too, though. Also gave up a 105 rate, giving up a 92 rating to quarterbacks overall. Completion percentage allowed a little high, only 192 yards per game allowed, and only 6.3 yards per attempt allowed. Not many stingier. Good enough for B territory, heck, say B+.
Winston fires, end zone, off target, picked off!
Pass rush, 34 sacks, kind of average. Would have been better with Micah all the way to the end. He led them with 12.5 bags. It was at least an A- pass rush with Parsons. Production-wise, though, it ended in C+ territory. Rashawn Gary has 7.5 sacks. He's never hit 10, so maybe he'll be eager to see if he can drop Brosmer a few times by game's end.
As Brissett has the ball knocked loose. Fumble. It's recovered by the Packers.
Mentioned Brosmer took 7 sacks alone last week, too. Vikings quarterbacks, 58 taken overall, not many with more. Only one guy on their O-line avoided the injury bug, guard Will Fries, who gave up a team-high 9 sacks. Tackle Justin Skule gave up 9 as a fill-in. So much of this was on their quarterbacks, though, but nonetheless, it was a mess.
3-man rush. Brosmer steps up. Brosmer tripped up.
Jordan Mason, 4.6 a carry on the ground, leads them with 664 rush yards, but he was out last week. You know Aaron Jones would love to stick it to his old squad one more time. Only 53 yards, 2.9 per carry versus 548 yards for the year, 12 games, 4-2 a run.
And it is Jones, and he is in for the touchdown. Minnesota on the board first.
A C for their rush attack as a whole, facing a C rush defense. Green Bay allowing, holding, your pick, runners to 4.2 a carry. Not dominant, but better than the league average.
It has been not quite that tonight. That's going to help. Inagbari.
What else? You guys can grade your coaches in the comments section or anything else you feel like grading. Purple People Eaters, here's hoping 2026 brings some kind of QB clarity, and you can still wonder if I'm AI or not in the comments section of our playoff previews, which the Packers will be a part of no matter what. The rewind button stopped on their 2004 wildcard matchup last preview. This time around, we backtrack to 2000, where we find Antonio Freeman on his back.
The Packers again faced certain elimination, this time against Minnesota in front of a national television audience.
Favre takes the handoff, rolling right, pressured by McDaniel, shovels it forward. Oh, Green, touchdown, diving grab, Amon Green.
Minnesota quarterback Dante Culpepper was intercepted 4 times, as the Packers secondary was up to the challenge of the high-powered Vikings. Still, Green Bay was trailing late in the third quarter.
High end over end kick by Berger, and Rossum makes the catch at the 8. Straight ahead, 10 to the 15, cutting right to the 20. He's to the 25-30, right sideline, 35-40, 45 to the 50, cutting it back left. Yeah, clear, down the sideline, 20, 15, 10, up from behind, down he goes, inside the 5.
On the last play of regulation, Allen Rossum provided another key special teams play.
33-yard field goal attempt. Here's the snap. Placement, Mando. They have to pick it up. Get out there. Rolling right is the holder. He's hit from behind. He throws the right down. Yes! Intercepted.
Rossum forced Minnesota holder Mitch Berger into an ill-advised pass that sent the game into overtime.
Third down, Packers. Under a blitz. Favre. Pop flies the right side. Freeman trying to adjust to it, and it's incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Chris Dishman. Wait a minute. Freeman picked it out. It bounced into his hands. He takes it in the end zone. Touchdown. Packers win. I don't believe it.
It was meant to be.
I can't believe it.
It was meant to be.
Antonio Freeman's Monday Night Miracle provided one of the most unforgettable finishes in Packer history, and seemed like the spark that the Packers had waited for all season.
Kansas City Chiefs, you've got it bad, baby. You need Vegas. When? This week. You can stop at the cash machine along the way.
Rush 4. Oladokun throws to the end zone, too high and incomplete.
Just bring your card half an hour. Raiders won't be wearing suits. They'll be dressed in silver and black. Want to look like high rollers. They say if you dress nice there, they give you free stuff.
They need the 31. Pickett. So they're short, and on downs, the Giants will get it.
Chiefs might feel like they're sitting down at a no-bust table this week. Vegas seemingly content to hand them the Rain Man suite. Let them go up by $500 by midnight if they like. The jackpot the Raiders are after, just one loss away after losing to the Giants in the Super Tank Bowl. Made sure Mad Max didn't mess anything up. which left them sitting number 1 in the 2026 draft as the only 2-win team in the league.
Here comes Wilson. Here goes Dart. His second touchdown today on the ground.
Didn't play quite like Pirates of the Caribbean this year, their season more post-pubescent Disneyland. Last in points per game on offense, Geno Smith more INTs than any other quarterback in the game after throwing 2 more last week. You might love Pirates, but these ones were not money this year.
Oh, no. It's picked off on that 2nd down and 7 grabbed here, Bobby Okereke.
Kansas City just has to step up and lay it on the table. They aren't really the types right now who should be playing with black chips, though the Raiders are the equivalent of a lower stakes table anyway, so who knows. But Kansas City's Chris Oladokun-led offense only walked out with 13 points in their last outing. Oladokun only threw for 66 yards, 3 yards per attempt.
Deep drop, under pressure, launching one into no man's land.
They just have to remember the golden rule. If they score late and are down a point, it would be like getting a 10 or 11. You know what to do, right? Raiders Chiefs Chapter 1 2025 edition, Week 7, Patrick Mahomes was looking good. 3 TDs, 280-plus yards. Defense shut out Vegas 31-0, holding Geno to 67 yards passing. I'm telling you, baby, always double down on 11.
Out of the game, Smith.
Chris Jones.
Jones has got him at the 31.
Yeah, well, obviously not always. 2 guys who do have some incentive to go big on their way out. The guy who you could see playing Trent if they ever rebooted that classic, Travis Kelce, 839 yards. Unlikely he flies off into the sunset in his private billion-dollar jet off a 1,000-yard year, but he has 839 yards right now. Probably the final game of his Hall of Fame-worthy career.
Travis Kelce in what could be, we don't know, his final home game.
And Ashton Genty could leave a big winner, has a shot at a K as well. Grind of a rookie season, but has 888 yards on the ground.
10 into the secondary, and it will take a couple guys to bring him down.
Who's the big winner? I hope the black hole is in 2026. May the draft bring you a game-changing talent. Kansas City, the run had to end at some point. Wishing your squad a successful remodel job this offseason. But to both fan bases, you're all money, so be sure to check in on our playoff previews. Your opinions, takes, and predictions are all still needed. Kansas City has taken the Raiders in 21 of the last 25. First ever playoff meeting between the two.
The Oakland game plan was simple. Score quickly through the air and force the favorites to play catch-up football and abandon their strength, ball control. The plan worked perfectly the very first time Oakland got the ball. Now the defense had only to hold the Chiefs' vaunted rushing attack and they would be home free. Done. Still the first quarter, and again Oakland went into the end zone for a 14-0 lead. The last play of the first quarter was a post pattern to Biletnikoff, and before the Chiefs knew what hit them, they trailed 21-0. With only 28 seconds left in the first half, Fred Biletnikoff took the game completely out of reach. What it was just superior effort by one of football's most deceptive flankers. The moves made on All-Pro safety Johnny Robinson were phenomenal. But the rest, that was pure desire. You could read the final score on the faces of the players. Despite the nagging injuries, despite the longest Western Division race, despite the experts' predictions of eventual failure, despite everything, the Oakland Raiders had the discipline, faith, and desire to triumph in the West. Now they would meet the Jets in New York as defending AFL champions in quest of their second straight championship.
How about year-end grades as we go through this matchup, though there is actually something on the line for each team. Giants at home and in the thick of the draft slot race, though the number 1 pick is off the table after New York left the Strip big winners. Or were they the big losers?
We're not talking about draft picks and all those things. We're trying to find a way to win a football game.
Dallas Cowboys in town, looking to at least finish off the year Jerry Seinfeld style, come out even Steven.
In stride, the speed, he's gone!
Dak Prescott was not the problem in the Big D in 2025. A-grade season, 30 TDs, 10 INTs, 280 yards per game. Nobody has more. Basically a 100 rate. Not sure how long he'll play in this one. Doesn't have any major milestones he can reach.
Prescott, protection holds up.
Oh, that was a perfect top shelf throw right there.
A- for their offense, top 5 in points per game, tops in yards per game, good on third down. Could have been better in the red zone, but you can't really ask for much more.
Over the middle into the end zone. How about that?
We want ourselves to stay on the air.
George Pickens, A+. He already has put up a career year with 1,420 yards, over 90 catches, 9 TDs. His first year with the Star could not have gone better.
25-20, 15-10. Pickens in the end zone again.
He had some monster games when CeeDee Lamb was out, only 13 games played, still cracked 1,000 yards for the 5th year in a row, say B+ just because of the missed time.
Welcome back, CeeDee Lamb, 74 yards.
In the final piece of their Big 3 pass-catching unit, Jake Ferguson, 81 receptions for 595 yards, 8 scores, so B+.
Dives in from the 2.
Unbelievable. Second of the day for Fergie.
Keep the good grades flowing. A for Javonte Williams, career best in yards, yards per carry, and TDs, 1,201 yards, 4.8 per attempt, 11 paint jobs.
Williams ripping through for the touchdown. Cowboys strike again.
O-line, 31 sacks taken, so right about 2 a game. Took 6 last week. Tyler Booker gave up 4. Terrence Steele gave up a team-high 9 for the season. They threw a lot, though, top 10 in sack percentage. Dak has faced pressure 31% of the time, better than average. Let's say B+.
It's just going to take one play for the Cowboys to snap out of this and get back in it.
The O-line could really open up some holes for Williams. No team is giving up more than the Giants' 5.3 yards per carry, 145 yards per game. Their rush defense gets an F.
17 seconds into this game, and the Eagles lead.
Only people that are hurting us are us.
G-Men's front, at least, has Brian Burns. Pass rush gets a middle-of-the-pack C grade because of Burns' A+ season. Has 16.5 sacks, career high.
Here comes Burns, and there's a sack. He's got 1.5 today.
Their play up front helped limit the damage on their backside. A 95 rating, only 8 INTs. Most of their numbers against the pass, though, falling in D+ territory.
Right side of the end zone, Watson leaping grab. My, oh my, oh my.
New York giving up 26 a game overall. Only 3 teams have given up more yards. Middle of the pack on third down and bad in the red zone. Feels like a D, and that might be being nice.
He takes it. McCaffrey's wide open. He pulls it in along the left pylon.
Giants offense fared better. Maybe not much better, but still better. And it's a what could have been outfit. Jackson Dart lands an A- in my book. 11 starts, basically a 90 rating. 13 TDs, 5 picks. 455 rush yards and 9 scores down low too without Neighbors.
Here goes Dart, his second touchdown. So any question about him running has been erased.
He only got a handful of games with Cam Scadaboo too. He was having at least a B+ type of year when he got hurt. Tyrone Tracy ending as their RB1 just like he did last year. 4 a carry, 637 yards. He's one of the backs in the NFL. Let's go see.
It's Tracy, and into the secondary. And boy, they can't tackle him. Yeah, he's slippery down to the 20-yard line.
Neighbors only played in 4 games, which did allow Wan'Dale Robinson to shine. First 1,000-yard year of his career, 92 receptions. That's a B+.
Now deep downfield, he's got Robinson in the end zone for the touchdown.
Tight end Theo Johnson, 528 yards in his year 2, 5 TDs. Didn't play last week. His growth good enough to get a B-.
Jackson Dart, Theo Johnson, they're 2 for 2 in the first half.
New York's quarterbacks have taken 44 sacks, only blamed 30 on their O-linemen, though. Their quarterbacks faced pressure 38% of the time, only 5 teams allowing more. D+ or C-.
There's a 1st and 10, and they pressure Dart.
That time, Dart just losing his footing.
Offense overall, only 16 turnovers, won a game. That's not too bad. They have been bad in the red zone, though. Middle of the pack on 3rd down and yards per game. 21 points per game. Could be worse. C-.
And the Giants have won for the first time this year in Jackson Dart's first ever start.
Mentioned, Giants defense, 29th in yards per game allowed. Cowboys, 30th. Typically, when a team is the 500 type, they're a C team. If you had an A offense, then it means your defense failed. And that's when you get to the Dallas Cowboys. Bottom 3 in points per game allowed, 3rd down and inside the 20, F.
Up the middle it goes, plunging, touchdown!
Secondary, bottom 3 in rate allowed, completion percentage allowed, and yards per attempt, F.
Quick pass, screen, near side, flanking, 20-yard line, 10, 5, touchdown!
Pass rush, Jadeveon Clowney, who only played 12 games, James Houston, lead the team with 5.5 sacks, 2 a game average, so not great, and they were thrown on a lot, so D+.
Young backpedaling, flush to his left, throws downfield, Dowdle wide open, touchdown!
Finally, rush defense, boys gave up 4.7 a carry to runners as a whole. That's D territory.
But take a look at the gap created just off the right side, basically untouched to the house.
So Giants a D kind of year, saved from an F by Dart and Burns. Cowboys a straight C in the game preview guy book. Jerry Jones thought his squad underachieved. I know the feeling. I thought War of the Worlds was pulling the Oscar for Best Movie of the Year. Boys and G-Men fans, hopefully we see you in the comments section of our playoff previews. May the new year see Bojack bring back the D he took from Dallas. New York, I know Giants players are supposed to love the color blue, but let's avoid going into tense of that color so often this next season. Happy New Year, everybody. Playoff season is here. Dallas has beat New York 9 straight times, 16 of the last 17. We showed some of the last Giants victory over the Cowboys in our last preview of these two, so it's Dallas's turn. Here's the most points Dallas has ever scored against the Giants.
One thing they all come to see and cheer is the fierce Cowboy defense. In 1966, the Cowboys got to the quarterback more often than any other team in football. The Cowboys' secondary is the fastest in football. All members possess sprinter speed and lightning reflexes. Cornell Green was All-Pro for the 2nd straight year. Along with speed and an appetite for aggression, there is also a little luck involved. The balance of both offensive and defensive units was the overriding factor in 3 key Dallas victories late in the season.
Detroit Lions are roadbound to wrap up their disappointing 2025, slide in on a 3-game losing streak.
Oh, trouble again, and Goff just has to jump on it. Van Ginkel took it away late.
Van Ginkel just said, that's mine.
They face off with their old buddy this week. Season wasn't the same without him, was it? Ben Johnson's Bears sitting in the number 2 hole in the NFC still, despite coming up just short in a classic.
4 seconds left, 2nd and goal. Here is Williams. He's got to throw it to the end zone. Clock has expired. Williams keeps the play alive. He's looking. He's got to get rid of it. Retreating, he throws. Incomplete. It's over!
Bears have plenty of incentive to win this week. They can hold on to the number 2 seed still, which, with the way this year has gone, could be really valuable later on. They also have to hope they and the Lions are very different teams compared to when they first met. This is a rematch from all the way back in week 2. Detroit smoked Chicago 52-21. Jared Goff went loonies and put 5 on them, 334 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams with 100+ yards each.
Goff complete. Jamison Williams across midfield. Still going. Inside the 30. Cuts to the inside.
Chicago's defense, unfortunately, kind of looked like that again last week. Didn't even face George Kittle or left tackle Trent Williams for most of the game, too. Gave up 42 points, 7 for 10 on 3rd down, 5 for 5 in the red zone. Gave up 5 touchdowns to Brock Purdy, 2 down low, 3 up high, along with over 300 yards.
Purdy with a clean pocket. It's complete. It's Jawan Jennings to the pylon. Touchdown!
They're giving up 24.8 points per game, tied with the Detroit Lions, who gave up 23 to Minnesota in their latest loss, despite holding them to 3 for 13 on third down and holding Max Brosmer to just 51 yards, just 3.2 per attempt.
Fake it on the play action. Brosmer has to get out of there. He just got rid of it. Incomplete pass.
The Lions sacked Brosmer 7 times. He only threw 16 times. Hutch 2, Muhammad 2, both double-digit dudes in 2025.
Brosmer steps up. Brosmer tripped up. Aiden Hutchinson has his second sack of this first half.
They have to track down Caleb Williams this week. Not easy to do. Didn't take any sacks last week. 330 yards, 2 TDs, no INTs, a 100 rate.
Free play for Williams, so Caleb looking to launch. Does towards the end zone. Touchdown! Colston Loveland!
5 TDs short of 30, 270 yards away from 4,000. No Bears quarterback in their 100-plus years has finished a season with 30 TDs or 4K or better in yards. Even if it's 17 games, Bears fans would love to see Caleb check those boxes.
Williams protected, going up top. He's got it out of bounds.
See, why did he have to say the thing about the 17 games? I knew he hates Williams. Quick clarifier, I don't. Comments and stats pertaining to his being last in incompletion percentage, first in off-target throws, and past previews are made because those are true of his game right now. Ben Johnson talks about it, broadcasters talk about it. Accuracy, decision-making, reading the field might be the only things holding him back from being truly dominant. Trust me, game preview guy is a fan.
Attaboy, Caleb Williams. Look at that one right there.
Luther Burden, huge game versus San Francisco, 138 yards and a touchdown.
Sending it downfield to the end zone for Burden. He's got it. Touchdown, Chicago.
He hurt his quad on the last play. Have to see if he can make a go of it. He and Caleb's chemistry starting to get Walter White Jesse-like as of late. Colston Loveland, a much bigger piece of their puzzle compared to when they played Detroit the first time. 94 yards and a TD a week ago.
Play action again. Worked well. On the run. Got Loveland again to the 19-yard line.
DJ Moore, only 7 yards, 4 targets. Bears run game, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai only received 17 combined chances last week. Fared well with the ones they got. Monangai 38 yards, 4.8 per. Swift 54 yards, 6 a carry, 2 TDs. That put him over 1,000 for 2025.
Gets up to full speed and scores a touchdown!
So maybe another shootout looms. Depends on how Dan Campbell handles his starters. You'd think Jared Goff would want to get in one more start. Can't go out off a game that saw him turn the ball over 5 times.
Goff delivers another pick, and it's the veteran, Harrison Smith.
He took 5 sacks, lost 3 fumbles, threw 2 INTs.
See what Goff and company can do here. Not much. Goff gets walloped. Ball comes out. Minnesota's right there.
Detroit's offense, in turn, only scratched out 10 points. Jahmyr Gibbs, just 41 yards on 2.4 a carry.
Toss it, Gibbs. Bear hug in the backfield.
Bears, the kind of defense he could get right against. Chicago's been bad at stopping running backs, as evidenced by last week when they gave up 140 yards on 6-1 a carry to CMC, who has spent more time as a sub 4 yard per carry guy this year than an above 4 yard per carry guy.
To the edge, to the end zone, touchdown, San Francisco.
When Goff lets it fly, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he left hurt last week, joining like half of Detroit's starters in the MASH tent. He's over 1,200 yards for the year already, but he says he wants to play if he's healthy.
On the run, Wobbler is caught. Perfect spot for Amon-Ra St. Brown, and another conversion on third down.
Williams also over 1,000 yards for 2025, 37 yards versus Minnesota. Detroit has beaten Chicago 6 of the last 7 meetings. We backtracked to the year 2000 in our previous preview of these two. Let's go 1987 for the one and only year they only played once during a season. Missed one due to the players' strike. That was the night many Chicago residents had their TV signals hijacked by who many people think is my dad, Max Headroom.
It was back home then for the victory over the Detroit Lions.
Shotgun formation. Long takes the snap, back pedals in the end zone. He throws the left side and a leaping attempt is down the right sideline to the end zone for the touchdown. John Gale.
The defense Neil Anderson and Dennis McKinnon sparked a 30-10 win, and the Bears were back in stride.
First down, and McMahon back to throw. Dumps it up the middle. Wide open. Left to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5.
Indianapolis Colts close out a frustrating 2025 on the road, trying to avoid becoming the first team to start 8-2 and finish under 500.
They were the number 1 seed a little more than a month ago, but they've fallen off a cliff.
They are in Houston this week, playoff ticket punched, division title still in play, Texans defense still the best in the NFL.
Herbert surveying and runs out of time again. And there's Will Anderson getting in on the act.
Texans on an 8-game win streak, as hot as any team around, so if we may, a little Mims. This is why they're hot. They're hot because they're fly. You ain't because you're not. And because they have a defense that just held LA to 16 points, which is their league-leading season average.
Great defenses, front end and back end having to work together, and the Texans have been doing a great job of that.
This is why they're hot. They're holding quarterbacks to the second lowest rate in the league still, after holding Justin Herbert to an 84 rating, picked him off.
Up in the air and picked off the hands of Gadsden into Al-Shaair. Oh, what a massive moment that was.
Mims said they love to take it slow in the Midwest, so when he gets to Houston, he watches you get it on the floor. I assume he means like Houston's pass rush, getting Herbert to the floor 5 times in a game. Daniil hunted down his 14th bag of the year.
And can't get out of the grip of Hunter. And Hunter bags himself Herbert on just the 3rd snap of the game.
Now they unleash all that on Riley Leonard, who's going to get the start this week. Houston already beat the Colts and beat them with Daniel Jones, no less. Week 13, Houston beat Indianapolis in classic Texans fashion, held what was an elite offense to 16 points, 3 for 10 on 3rd down, stopped both their 4th down tries, the second to end the game.
The Houston Texans' number 1 defense comes through.
Colts offense with Phillip last week, only 17 points. Rivers only 147 yards on 4-8 an attempt. He got picked off, so out of his 3 starts, he has looked like an old guy who's really smart, but hasn't played in a while in 2 of them.
It's not gone well for the Colts.
Still, Indy has incentive to win. It would at least get them to 9 wins, and they don't hold their first-round pick in 2026, so why not? Jonathan Taylor is also battling for the rushing crown, added 70 to his total in their loss to Jacksonville, scored for a league-leading 18th time down low.
His NFL-leading 18th rushing touchdown this year.
Leads Derek by 2 touchdowns, has over 1,500 yards for the season. Him and James Cook neck and neck there. Through the air, Alec Pierce saw 6 targets last week, not 1 catch, 871 yards for 2025, so still could crack a K with a big game, and he's trying to hold on as the league's top yard per catch guy, averaging 20.3 per. Michael Pittman, 16 yards versus Jacksonville, close to 800 for the year. Tyler Warren, the only Colt with 40-plus yards last week, 43 led the team, a few yards short of 800, great rookie season.
Tyler Warren with a gain of 15.
Indy's defense gave up 23 to Jacksonville. Not bad with how hot they were.
Lawrence delivers. Thomas, back shoulder, knocked away. It's Cameron Mitchell.
Pulled off Trevor Lawrence, holding him to a 72 rating by holding him without a TD pass, picked him off. CJ Stroud has been nowhere near as fire as Lawrence has been lately. He looked great early out in Hollywood, hit each of his rookie receivers for a long TD.
And he's got another open receiver for a touchdown. It's Noel on Christmas.
But he threw 2 bad INTs too, a sub-90 rate for the 5th time in his last 6. Houston's offense only 20 points, fewer than 24 points in 5 of their last 6, fewer than 21 in 4 of those.
And I don't know. I don't know what he saw right there. Molden's just sitting there, and he basically throws it right into his numbers.
3 for 11 on 3rd down versus LA, never crossed the Chargers' 20. Jalen Knoll, the 43-yard TD. Jaden Higgins, the 75-yarder.
A big play over the top for the touchdown, and nobody throws a better deep ball
Nico Collins over 1,100 yards for the year after collecting 57 versus the Chargers, 55-plus yards in 9 straight.
Ferocious catch and run.
Woody Marks, 71 rush yards, 60-plus in 4 of his last 5.
That was a massive 19-yard run by Marks.
Colts did allow Travis Etienne to hit at 4.5 a carry, and they gave up 2 rush TDs to Trev. Shoe fans, a game preview guy salute to you all. May 2026 bring your boys good health. I wouldn't be saying goodbye if the Indiana Jones tail hadn't crashed as hard as the Crystal Skull did. Get DJ and Sauce out there, it's a different tale. And don't go anywhere, actually. You gotta rep that high football IQ Indy style in the comments section of all the playoff game previews. Texans have won the last 4 in a row versus Indianapolis. Colts won the first 9 games they played against Houston. Texans needed Santa's help to snap the streak, delivered them their first win over the Colts on Christmas Eve 2006.
A gutsy call gave the team its second win in Jacksonville in 3 years. But a familiar foe would test the Texans' mettle on Deep Steel Sunday. Donning all steel blue uniforms for the first time, Houston took an early lead. Later in the first quarter, defensive end Mario Williams forced a fumble, and the Texans took advantage.
Handoff, Dane dashing through the line into the end zone. Ron Dane, his second touchdown of the day. And believe it or not, folks, it's 14-0 Texans over the Colts.
Giving Houston the halftime lead with his first career touchdown, fullback Vonta Leach had the holiday crowd dreaming of a Christmas miracle. But Santa's favorite reindeer was running back Ron Dane, who rushed for 153 yards on 32 carries.
The weakness of this Colts defense are the front 4 guys against the run. You want to get your offensive line involved in this football game early. Line up, go straight downhill at the Colts.
Though his third touchdown was called back by a penalty, Dane and the offensive line executed Coach Kubiak's game plan to perfection, as their ability to control the clock kept Houston in the game. The Texans held the ball for nearly 36 minutes, but needing a win to secure home field advantage in the playoffs, Indianapolis tied the game with less than 3 minutes to play. With overtime looming, Chris Brown had a chance for his 5th game-winning field goal as a Texan.
The beat from about 48 yards as Chad Stanley will hold. Ryan Pittman, the long snapper. The snap is down. Brown's kick on the way. It has the distance, and it's good! Merry Christmas! The Texans beat the Colts for the first time ever! 27-24, the Texans win!
The last team to beat the eventual Super Bowl champions, Houston ended the season with back-to-back wins.
Chargers hit the road to end the year. Hopes for a division title dashed at the hands of the Texans and Madagascar Marty last week.
Stroud is running. Stroud is sacked with a flag down in the secondary.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 29.
Oh, my word. I mean, with the season on the line here.
Zebras did the Bolts dirty twice, at least, in that loss. LA currently the 6th seed in the AFC. Can't finish higher than 5th, so they're road warriors no matter what. They're in Denver this week. The Broncos still looking to lock up the number 1 seed in the conference, which of course comes with a built-in playoff win over the bye.
Nix is rolling. Nix will throw, and it's caught for the touchdown by R.J. Harvey.
So Denver is the one who really cares about this result. Jim Harbaugh's choosing to rest Justin Herbert, so Broncos get Trey Lance, among others. Got to go back to week 3 for LA-Denver round 1. Kind of game you'd expect from them this year. LA held Bo Nix to 153 yards passing. Denver sacked Justin Herbert 5 times, but he threw for 300 yards, set up Dicker the kicker for a walk-off game winner, 23-20.
23-20. Zeros on the clock. It's over, and the Chargers remain unbeaten.
Dicker was not pretty clutch last week, as Dylan G would have put it, and LA's offense struggled too, against an elite defense, mind you, but they face another one of those this week. Simplistically, Orange Crush 3.0 is in position to take care of this game, holding teams to 19 per contest, league-leading 64 sacks.
Good job by Vance Joseph on that defense, giving him a look to confuse him.
Their pass rush, LA's O-line, potentially a major mismatch. Herbert took 5 more sacks in their loss to Houston.
Right now, the mission impossible appears to be pushing the ball downfield behind this makeshift offensive line. And
Herbs has been bagged 4+ times, 3 of their last 4 games. Chargers offense in turn, fewer than 23 points in 3 of their last 4 games, only mustered 16 points last week.
Stepping up and loses the ball. Gets on it though.
Herbert sub-90 rate games in each of those last 3 losses. See how it's all tied together? A Herbert INT in each, has been picked off once in 5 of his last 6.
Up in the air and picked! Oh, what a massive moment that was!
If and when Herbert sits, figure it would be Trey Lance time. Keenan Allen only 3 targets, 17 yards versus Houston. Bolts fans very sensitive about what you present about Keenan. He's a national treasure, buddy. McLovin only 1 catch, 31 yards. Quentin Johnston with a team-high 98 yards week 17.
Goes deep for Johnston, he has him! Johnston, big time play for the Chargers.
He's already posted a career high with 735 yards, so none of LA's pass catchers really have any milestones to hit. Not that they'd be easy to hit versus Denver's secondary anyway. Unless you mesmerize them with long Fabio-like locks, they sport elite digits versus most QBs they've faced this year.
Deep drop, under pressure, launching one into no man's land.
And it would be a surprise to see them give up a lot down low. Denver's rush defense just as stingy. Plus, LA's Omarion Hampton only 2.1 a carry versus Houston. Herbert led the team in rushing with 37 yards. Neither of these offenses hits week 18 with mojo. Denver only put up 20 points versus Kansas City. That's back-to-back games with 20. Nick's a 76 rate, picked off once, only 182 yards.
Running for his life, throws.
Now what a play here. Great instincts, gets his hands under it and makes the interception.
Nick's with sub-90 rate games in 7 of his last 8. He threw 38 times last week, only took 1 sack, so that wasn't the problem and isn't most weeks. Only 1 Bronco with more than 35 yards versus Kansas City. Cortland Sutton, 40 yards, has just over 1,000 overall for the year.
Nick's fires and a catch by Sutton.
RJ Harvey had 33 receiving yards and a touchdown, added 43 rush yards.
Harvey picks up the first down, several more yardage.
Again, hard to say if those dudes will get LA's best. Defenders do tend to play regardless, and if LA's do, they could keep it close. They gave up 2 long touchdowns early last week, out of character. Followed them by picking off CJ Stroud twice, held Houston to 20 points, all that in character.
Stroud over the middle, intercepted! Holy smokes!
0 sacks, only 1 QB hit, top 10 in bags for 2025 though. Tuli Tuipulotu leads them with 13. Held Houston's rush attack in check for the most part, not always a strength though. We threw it back to some Chargers-Broncos playoff action the last time we previewed these two. Let's go 1985 this time for one of the craziest shows they've ever put on in their long storied history.
Week 11 found the Broncos locked in a scoring shootout with the San Diego Chargers. Dan Fouts and John Elway traded scoring passes, and Gene Lang followed playbook-perfect blocking for another score as the game was tied at the end of regulation time. Denver's fate would be decided in overtime for the second of 4 times in 1985, and only a great effort by Dennis Smith and Louis Wright kept the Broncos alive. However, after blocking 1 field goal and then losing it because a timeout had been called, the Broncos needed 1 more miracle.
10:36 left in sudden death overtime. If Thomas makes it, the Chargers win. Tied in overtime at 24. Ball is down. Thomas's kick is blocked. Picked up on the run. Here comes Louis Wright. They won't catch him. as he goes through the end zone.
Miami Dolphins hit the road to finish off the year. Nothing to lose attitude makes them dangerous. Just ask Tampa Bay.
Ewers is ready to throw this ball deep. He is not worried about these 5-yard outs. He is trying to get the ball downfield.
New England won't likely overlook them, though. Sure didn't overlook the Jets last week.
May on the rollout, on the move, throws to the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown.
Patriots have won 12 of their last 13. Could still end up with the number 1 seed if they win and get a little help from a team out in Hollywood. Patriots have 3 games played versus teams above 500, 2 of their 3 losses to those teams. 12-1 versus teams 500 or worse. Man, that Week 1 Raiders game seems weird now, doesn't it? Miami, one of those sub-500 teams, New England vanquished. All the way back in Week 2, Drake May with 230 yards, 2 TDs, no INTs, a 137 rate. Pats took a shootout, 33-27.
I found somebody on the defense that I can outrun as he's able to sprint past Judon for the touchdown.
May was setting the tone for his MVP candidacy, ran a TD in as well. Kinda struggled versus New York last week though. Missed twice on his 21 pass attempts, so only threw for 256 yards and 5 TDs and a 157 rate. But I just want to know, what was up with those other 2 passes?
Drake May got a man. It's Stevenson. It's a touchdown. May's 9 for 9.
So 30 TDs in year 2 of Drake. Offense eked out 42 points versus the Jets, so that makes 11 straight with 24 plus.
Yeah, you just feel like everything just has a calmness and a poise to it.
He has carved up the Jets today.
But hey, Miami's D has really stiffened up the second half of the year, holding the Bucs to 17 points, have held 5 of the last 7 offenses faced under 18 points.
Mayfield firing downfield, and it is picked off, and it's brought back by Marshall.
Archer calmed down, phrasing is dead. And Drake gets a secondary that picked off Baker Mayfield twice, also gave up 2 TDs and 346 yards to him, 114 to Jalen McMillan, 108 to Chris Godwin.
Mayfield throws, nice. End zone, touchdown, Chris Godwin.
4 different New England pass catchers come in off 40-plus yard games. Efton Chisholm, 40 yards and a score. Hunter Henry, 49 yards plus a TD.
Here's Hunter Henry with a huge, and I mean huge, convoy of big boys blocking.
Stephon Diggs, a TD plus 101 yards to lead the way. Back-to-back C-note games, about to break on through to the other side of 1,000 yards.
Launches for Diggs, looking for the Moss, he got it! Stephon Diggs, impressive stuff over the top.
Ramondre Stevenson, 55 receiving yards and an air TD, plus a ground TD and 47 yards.
Stevenson the carry, Patriots with a second touchdown drive. That looked about as easy as it gets.
And rounding it all out, Travion Henderson, 82 rush yards.
Here's Travion Henderson, and he bangs his way to a first down.
The Miami front they battle with played well last week, sacked Baker 3 times, held the Bucs to 53 rush yards, held Bucky Irving to 19 yards on 2-1 a carry.
On second down,
nice play.
Irving pulled down from behind. Zach Sealer, he makes the play.
Dolphins defense good enough to trip an offense up. Offense has made things tough though. Even in their win, only 20 points, fewer than 22 points, 5 of their last 6 then.
Viewers looking for Waddle. Morrison able to break it up.
Only 1 for 3 in the red zone, just 4 for 12 on third down, despite getting a nice game from the mighty Quinn. Ewers, 2 TDs, no INTs for a 100-plus rate.
And now Ewers throws, end zone, touchdown! It's Dulcich.
New England's defense just faced a guy with similar NFL experience, held Brady Cook to 152 yards, 4.6 per attempt, picked him off for a 56 rating.
Cook floats it. It is Mitchell. It is picked off.
Only 1 sack on 34 pass attempts, didn't need it, held the Jets to 10 points, holding teams under 20 per game on the season.
Right back to Brees. Good penetration by Eric Gregory as
Hall ran it to the outside. He does end up losing 3 yards.
The only red flag, they gave up a 59-yard run to Breece Hall as part of a 111-yard game.
Breece Hall taking it all the way for a Jets touchdown.
Hall is good, but not having a good year. Devon Achane is good and having a good year. Still leads the NFL in yards per carry after going for 83 yards on 4-6 a try versus Tampa Bay. Over 1,300 yards for 2025 now. Would love to keep building on his career year.
Here's Achane, stays on his feet, picks up a Dolphins first down.
Pats with just 3 wins over Miami in their last 11 meetings. Not even TB12 was good enough to erase the overall deficit between these two in the series. 3 playoff meetings, Miami victorious in the first. Patriots finally taking them when they met in the 1985 postseason.
Here we are at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida for the AFC Championship game. Whoever would have believed in the early part of the season that the Patriots would be here?
Patriots have not won here in 18 straight games. This one is for the right to play in Super Bowl 20.
Let's get it. We can go, baby. We can go. Hey, Duffy, let's go.
Neeson drops back. Brooks to throw. He pumps one to throw. Touchdown. Patriots. Tony Collins. The Patriots have the lead. It's Easton on the fake. Fires into the end zone. And that one is a touchdown. Patriots.
On a trio of touchdown passes, the Patriots reeled off 21 unanswered points, and the Miami jinx appeared a thing of the past.
Jinx stinks. The jinx is dead, baby. I'm too young to remember that anyway. I don't know nothing about it either. One more time, Danny boy.
Miami's going to have to hold on to the ball today.
6 Miami turnovers allowed New England to control the ball an amazing 40 minutes. The Patriots overpowered the Dolphins 31-14.
This game sure got a lot more interesting. The New Orleans Saints end their year on the road, off to Atlanta on a 4-game win streak and a feeling they may have their QB of the future.
Let's see where he goes here on 2nd and goal. Looking for Austin in the end zone. Austin got it! Touchdown!
Panthers fans might be rooting against them when they take the field versus the Falcons, who shook up the NFL playoff picture by upsetting the Rams last week.
Throw is picked off, intercepted by Bates. It was high for Mumfield. Bates, pick 6.
Atlanta has a shot to go 8-9. If they do, and Tampa Bay beats Carolina, it would be a 3-way tie. The Panthers would take the NFC South based on tiebreakers. Either way, both these teams are playing to win. Just look at what Bijan did last week if you had any doubts. 195 yards, 8.9 a carry after Robinson ripped off a 93-yard TD.
Nice cutback. He's gone. Can anybody catch him?
Not tonight.
Chasing. Won't get their touchdown, Atlanta. 93 yards.
Over 1,400 rush yards, over 800 receiving yards this season, leads the NFL in scrimmage yards. He was pretty much the entire Atlanta offense last week, which only accounted for 20 of their points. Kirk Cousins had a clean game at least, a touchdown, no interceptions.
3rd down and goal. Floated. Robinson, touchdown, Atlanta.
But only 126 yards passing. Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, none with even 40 receiving yards. And Cousins didn't take any sacks. The Saints defense he takes on buried Cam Ward 4 times. Chase Young with a dominant showing. 1.5 bags, 1 a strip sack that he housed. Like a buddy of mine said, he looked like the guy everyone thought he'd be out of college.
Chase Young ripped it away. Young on the return. Young at the 10, 5, touchdown. What a play by Chase Young!
New Orleans defense still gave up 26 points to a Tennessee offense that hasn't put up many points this season, gave up 2 TDs to Ward, 251 yards, didn't pick him off, and gave up 85 yards on 4-7 a carry to Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard gets the call on 1st down, and he breaks a tackle. Tony Pollard rips off a big run.
Who-dat, though, not really worried about how many points their D gives up, as long as Tyler Shuck keeps helping their offense put them up. 27 last week, making it 24 plus in 3 of of their last 4.
Shuck, pump fake, now looking deep. Olave down there, he's got him. Olave down the sideline, turning on the Jets. Oh, did Tyler Shuck sell that one?
Shuck with another fine outing that provides NOLA hope. Season-high 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a season-high 142 rate.
Shuck to a wide-open man. It's Kevin Austin.
That's 270-plus yards in his last 3 straight, 89-plus rating in 3 straight. Would love to finish strong while continuing to build chemistry with Chris Olave, 85-plus yards in his last 3, 100-plus yards back-to-back games after dropping 119 and a touchdown on the Titans.
Shuck looking end zone, touchdown!
Olave over 1,100 yards for 2025, 100 catches on the nose, 9 touchdowns, all career highs. And Juwan Johnson, 95 yards a week ago, up to a career high 828 now.
He's got Johnson down there. Juwan Johnson reels it in, and he's still not on the ground. A 39-yard pickup for Juwan Johnson.
First 2025 meeting between these two, week 12. Cousins a couple of touchdowns, Shuck 243 yards, but Atlanta held New Orleans without a touchdown, sacked Shuck 5 times, 24-10 win.
Pressure coming. Pierce again. Brings down Shuck near the 30-yard line. The rookie has been relentless.
Falcons D hasn't softened since then either. Picked off Matthew Stafford 3 times last week. Took one to the house. Xavier Watts a pair. Great rookie year.
Quick throw, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Watts, his second of the night.
They sacked Stafford 3 times, second most bags for 2025 behind Denver.
As Stafford is sacked again, Brandon Dorless.
Didn't play the run great, gave up 92 yards to Kyron Williams on 7-1 a carry. They face Audric Estime this week, who hit for 94 yards versus Tennessee, 6-7 a run, he scored.
And there he goes! Estime! Touchdown!
Atlanta's win over New Orleans earlier this year put them ahead by 1 in the overall series, showed off their first ever meeting in our last preview, a Saints win, so now let's revisit the first Atlanta win over New Orleans, courtesy of the 1969 season.
The battle was on for the supremacy of the South, and the New Orleans Saints came soaring, not marching in. The Falcons knew exactly what they must do to beat the Saints. They had to stop their mammoth running backs. And they had to halt the air game by harassing their fine receivers and rushing Billy Kilmer before he could unload. The Falcon defense accomplished their mission, and Billy the Kid spent an afternoon of complete frustration. Gail Cockdill made a great one-handed stab for 1 touchdown. Then Harmon Wages was turned loose. He had the greatest day in Falcon history. He scored by air, racing 88 yards with a Berry pass for a new Falcon record. And he scored by land, shooting through the Saints defense and streaking 66 yards for another long score and another Atlanta record. When Ron Axe blocked a punt and fell on the ball in the end zone for a touchdown, the Falcons had assured themselves of their best NFL season ever, with a stunning 45-17 massacre of their biggest rival.
Okay, can we do this with fewer than 7 ads? Ready, set, go. Each time New York Jets fans think they've hit rock bottom, the bottom seems to find another bottom. Don't worry though, only 1 more week to go.
On the move, throws to the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown.
Jets in Buffalo to close out a miserable 2025. Bills will have more football to play after Week 18, but this game is nothing more than warm-up material now after coming out on the short side of the all-too-common 13-12 final.
Pressure throws, incomplete!
Oh, he had him! And Coach McDermott knows it too.
Did they really need to go for that? That's the big debate. 12 points, Week 17, a blocked extra point attempt, the failed 2-point conversion. Josh Allen, no TD passes, took 5 sacks. James Cook held to 3-7 a carry. Not a good look against a playoff caliber team.
Never concede anything. That's what great football teams do.
Allen ran their only 2 TDs in. He did throw for 262 yards.
Lets it fly. Going deep. Has a man. It is caught.
He connected with Brandon Cooks for 101 yards, most he's had as a Bill. Cook ran for 74 yards, so he hits Week 18 and first in rush yards for the season.
Here is Cook, shimmying and shaking to the outside, and then the speed, man. He is so elusive.
If they can't get right versus New York's defense, then sound the alarms. Gave up 42 points to New England last week. Gave up 5.9 a carry to Ramondre Stevenson, 47 rush yards, 55 receiving yards to him, 2 total TDs. Gave up 5 touchdowns to Drake May, no picks, over 100 yards to Stephon Diggs.
May, inside, it's Diggs, it's a touchdown!
Need your defense to feel better about itself ahead of the playoffs. How about a Jets offense coming off 10 points, a QB in Brady Cook who threw for only 152 yards, no TDs, 1 pick.
Could this be a grounding penalty?
I think sometimes you see that as a fan and you're like, what was he doing?
Buffalo's defense was not the problem in their loss to Philadelphia. Held them to 13 points, 3 for 13 on 3rd down, held Jalen Hurts to 110 yards passing, 4.1 per attempt, held Saquon to 3.6 per attempt.
Barkley in trouble in the backfield, nowhere to go. Bills all over him that time.
And capping it all off, Buffalo housed New York already. Have to go back to Week 2 for their first 2025 meeting. They held New York to 10 points, held Justin Fields to 27 passing yards before Tyrod Taylor went into the game. It was a James Cook special for Buffalo's offense, 2 touchdowns, 132 rush yards.
Out the gate to the races, touchdown, James Cook!
How many ads was that? Let me know in the comments section. Buffalo has beat New York 9 of the last 11 games. How about that 1968 game? Jets would go on to win the Super Bowl that year behind Broadway Joe's guarantee. Good thing he didn't guarantee a win over Buffalo earlier in the season, which he should have, being they only won 1 game all year.
When the Jets came to Buffalo, they brought Joe Namath, the man who would eventually make them world champions. The Bills rooters, it looked like it was going to be a long afternoon. But the offense, behind the blocking of B. Miller, Shaw, and Barber, drove to the New York 1. Gregory followed a Bob Kalsu block to score the go-ahead touchdown. Although the Jets came back to lead at 21-20, Coach Harvey Johnson's worries were unfounded, because the Bills were about to prove that they were a lot better than their record indicated. They blew Joe Namath right out of the stadium with 5 interceptions. 3 for touchdown.
Tennessee Titans head to Duval to finish off their 2025, one of 4 3-win teams sitting behind the 2-win Raiders.
And we end on another wild one.
Jacksonville at home, but if they want to play there again this year, still have some work to do.
Jacksonville's a win away from winning the Cell.
AFC South crown is still up for grabs, so Jacksonville has to keep their foot on the gas, can't overlook the Titans, need to handle them the same way they did in Week 13. Trevor Lawrence, 2 TDs, no INTs, 229 yards. Jacksonville held Cam Ward to 141 yards, no touchdowns allowed to anyone, cruised 25-3.
But it is looking shaky right now for Tennessee.
Lawrence didn't quite play on that same level last week. No passing TDs, got picked off for a 72 rate, snapping a 4-game run of 100-plus rate games.
Not a great ball by Trevor Lawrence, and Pratt makes him pay.
Jaguars only managed 23 points. First time in 8 games they finished under 24, 2 for 5 in the red zone, but Lawrence still had a productive day, 263 yards passing, plus he scored twice on the ground. That's 9 rushing TDs for Trev in 2025.
Oh yeah, you've got to account for him turning into a runner himself.
They went for 25 points versus Tennessee's defense. That was a good day for the Titans. They're giving up 27 a game overall. Gave up 27 to the Saints last week, a team only averaging 18 per contest. Gave up 333 yards and 2 TDs to Tyler Shuck. Didn't pick him off. 12.3 yards per attempt for a fat 142 rating.
And Shuck, once again, on the money.
And they gave up 94 yards to Austin Estime on 6-7 a run, so nothing about their defense signals upset. Travis Etienne hit at 4.5 a carry last week, 76 yards, over 1,000 yards for the third time in his 4-year career.
Travis Etienne, who came into this year feeling like he had something to prove.
When the ball's in the air, Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas, both with 39 yards a week ago, Brenton Strange, 54, Parker Washington, the leader guy with 115, that's back-to-back 100-plus yard games for him.
Steps into it and a perfect strike. Washington's got it. Washington reversing field, afterburners. And Washington has built off of the biggest game of his career last week in Denver.
And even if Jacksonville's offense were to falter a little for some reason, their defense is playing so good lately it might not matter. Held Indianapolis to 17 points, making it 5 straight. They've held their opponent under 21 points.
Takes Ryman right into the lap of Phillip Rivers.
Their secondary held Grandpa Simpson to 147 yards, just 4.9 per attempt, picked him off, now holding QBs under an 80 rating for the year, 1 INT behind Chicago for most picks.
So there you go, the first takeaway for this Jacksonville defense that went from the fewest takeaways in the NFL last year to second in the league this year.
Which brings us to Cam Ward, who has provided Tighten Up plenty of hope as the year has wound down. 2 TDs, no picks versus New Orleans, 251 yards, has thrown 2 TDs in 4 straight games, no INTs in his last 3, 88-plus rating games in his last 3 as well.
What a play!
Tony Pollard can pose some danger to Jacksonville's division title aspirations as well. He went for 85 yards versus the Saints to put him over 1,000 yards for the 4th straight year.
But Tony Pollard's done an excellent job with this season is his patience.
Pollard ran for 60 yards on 6 per attempt versus Jacksonville earlier. Jags just took on Jonathan Taylor, 70 yards and a touchdown allowed, but held him to 3.5 a run, holding runners to 3.9 a carry on the season.
What a performance by Jacksonville.
Texans fans will be sending Tennessee good vibes this week. Game preview guy sending good vibes to Titans fans for 2026. May it come with Ward taking the next step, maybe getting a new head coach and a couple of new pieces to help him do that. Kinda how it worked for Randall Pink Floyd Lawrence. Jags fans, we'll see you next week in our playoff preview. What a year it has been for you guys. Jacksonville has beaten Tennessee 6 of their last 7 hoedowns. On the surface, this one feels like a game that should end up like the one they played in 2006.
The wind may have kept David Garrard from showing off his arm against the Eagles. Unfortunately for the Titans, the rain wasn't a deterrent.
He's got Reicher at the 5. Reicher going to the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. And it's caught. Curtis Wilbur. Touchdown. His second of the game. The third for David Garrard.
Yet another dominating defensive effort was highlighted by 2 Rasheem Mathis interceptions.
He's at the 20, the 10, 5. Rasheem Mathis did it again.
This was supposed to be the second half of a late season home and away for first place, not just in the NFC East, but maybe for the #1 seed in the NFC overall.
But then, one day, everything changed.
Reigning champs facing an up-and-coming squad they beat in last year's NFC Championship, Philadelphia lived up to its side of the bargain at least. Statement win last week in Buffalo.
Pressure throws, incomplete! Eagles gonna hold on!
The predicted magnitude of this game didn't age well, as they say. Eagles didn't even get to see Jaden Daniels again, beat up on Marcus Mariota and Josh Johnson in their first meeting a couple of weeks back. Saquon 132 yards to spark fears among NFC playoff teams that he might be ready to go big down the stretch.
He's on his feet. Saquon Barkley's in. A hard-fought touchdown.
This game is whatever Philadelphia wants it to be. They've locked up the division and a home game in the wild card round, but they could end up with the number 2 seed with a win and a Chicago loss. You could also make the case to just start all the defenders at least. I mean, if they can hold Josh Allen without a TD and to a sub-90 rate, and Buffalo's high-scoring offense to just 12 points,
in trouble. Allen tries to take it. He is short.
Then one would assume they can handle Washington's offense with ease, which is one of the 3 offenses they've held under 19 points over their last 3. Commanders were a little more potent last week, against the Dallas Cowboys, mind you, so maybe 23 points isn't really anything to write home about. Josh Johnson, no TDs, but over 8 yards per attempt at least. Debo, 68 yards. Scary Terry, 63. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the star against the star, 105 yards rushing on 9-5 a pop, 2 TDs.
Take a look at the gap created just off the right side, basically untouched to the house.
He gets an Eagles front that just held James Cook to 3.7 a carry though.
Cook gets it up the middle, undercut and no gain. Terrific play, and it's 4th and goal.
And Philly's front comes in off maybe its best pass rush outing of the year, buried Allen 5 times.
Now more pressure, and it gets drilled. That ball is loose, and Philadelphia is going to recover.
Figure they hold the line on D. Maybe the offense can get Lumberg to make it a half day for the O-face guys. They could use a little warming up though ahead of the playoffs. Saquon 68 yards versus Buffalo.
Here's Barkley, tries to get to the edge, it's not there. And now Barkley is slow getting up.
Another sub 4 yard per carry game, only managed 3.6 last week. Jalen Hurts only threw for 110 yards, just 4.1 yards per attempt. Snow games, man, they can be tough.
What would normally seem like a very easy catch, right through like a greased pig.
Only 25 yards for Devontae Smith. He needs 44 to top 1,000. A.J. Brown hauled in 68 in the snow, put him over a K.
Around, he's going to take a shot deep as a man open. It is caught. A.J. Brown.
Washington's defense isn't playing any better than they were when they gave up 29 to Philadelphia, 30 to Dallas a week ago, over 300 yards to Dak Prescott, 78 to George Pickens, over 100 rush yards to Malik Davis, 54 and a TD to Javonte Williams.
On a give, Williams ripping through for the touchdown.
The one thing you can watch for on that side of the ball for their team, Von Miller. Washington sacked Prescott 6 times. Miller got his 8th. Nice late-in career year.
And down goes Prescott. Von Miller gets to Dak Prescott.
Philadelphia has beat Washington 14 of the last 18. Last preview, we reminisced about the 1990 body bag game. Let's keep with that theme then and go back to that 2010 game, remembered fondly as the Monday Night Massacre by Birds fans.
Redskins came into the game focused on stopping Michael Vick. But on the first snap, their hopes were deep-sixed.
Gives it off to Shady McCoy. No, he's back, and he is looking deep. And it is caught by Deshaun Jackson. Touchdown!
Vick threw and ran for a combined 413 yards and 6 touchdowns as the Eagles demolished the Redskins.
Shotgun McNabb, a lot of heat, fires it off, it's a pick. Intercepted. It's a pick, and it's going to be a pick 6. 3rd most points given up by a Redskin team in team history.
I mean, it doesn't get any more AFC North than this. It's like an MMA fight between Rambo and Rocky, Mike Tomlin and Jim Harbaugh, Pittsburgh Dad and Tom, Ollie and Frazier. Steelers trying to stay on their feet just long enough to hear the bell.
Looking to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Browns have pulled off the upset.
Ravens laying there in the sleeper hold, but then all of a sudden they raise an arm, point to the sky, a body slam, a leg drop, and a King Henry handoff later, are back on their feet ready to rumble.
It's a first half hat trick for the King. Derrick Henry owning the night.
Schedulers in New York are high-fiving on this one. Got the Peter Griffin versus the chicken fight we all deserved. Steelers took round 1 not that long ago, week 14. Aaron Rodgers ran a TD in, threw for 1, went for 284 yards. DK Metcalf 148. Ravens tried to rally late. Alex Highsmith sacking Lamar to end it.
And
that will do it. The Steelers come to M&T Bank Stadium and win.
Rodgers won't have DK this time, though. Did not fare great without him last week in their loss to Cleveland. 168 yards on a measly 4.3 per attempt, no TDs, a 64 rate.
Without DK Metcalf, they could not find a guy to win that matchup.
Only took 2 sacks on 39 pass attempts, has taken 2 to 3 in 3 straight games, but it wasn't what slowed their offense down to just 2 field goals worth of production. Going 3 for 15 on third down did, though.
Rodgers moves over, throws incomplete, making a number of appeals, not going to get it.
Steelers' offense had been good for 27-plus points their previous 3 outings. One of those, that win over Baltimore. That was one of 4 of the Ravens' last 5 games. They've allowed 24 or more points, gave up 24 to Green Bay in their win last week, mainly because they had trouble with Malik Willis, gave up 60 rush yards to him, plus 288 passing yards on over 13 yards per attempt for a 134 rate.
Willis, another dart, another catch. It's Watson for the touchdown.
They've given up 250 plus passing yards in 4 of their last 5, but can Pittsburgh come anywhere close to that without Metcalf? Pat Freiermuth led the team with 63 yards last week.
And the pass is caught by Freiermuth. Pass went for 21 yards.
From there, it was Scotty Miller with 25 yards on 7 targets. MVS led them with 9 targets, only 21 yards. Adam Thielen, 5 targets, only 14 yards. So maybe they have to pound the rock all game. Jaylen Warren hit at 5.3 a carry versus Cleveland, 64 yards.
Here's the handoff. Warren slipping through a couple of tackles, taking it right up the middle.
A big game from Warren could land him his first 1,000-yard year, too. He didn't get much play when they beat Baltimore. Neither did Kenneth Gainwell. He was quiet last week, too, but has played some good games for them as of late. Ravens front won't have to worry about Rodgers running as often as Willis did. Only faced 7 handoffs versus Green Bay's running backs, too. Obviously, how Pittsburgh handles Baltimore's running back likely goes a long way in determining a winner, as Derrick Henry hits Week 18 off his best 2025 showing.
Henry with a hole, touchdown! King Henry rules all in Green Bay.
Have to make some room in the Polk High Hall of Fame, the King matching Al Bundy's record with 4 TDs in 1 game. Not sure if Al ran for 216 yards as well, but Henry really stepped up with Lamar out last week, propelling Baltimore's offense to 41 points.
Henry has the touchdown. A brilliant start for Baltimore.
36 rush attempts, far and away his season high. Strange year, because at times it hasn't felt like he was his same old dominant self, and then you look and he has over 1,400 yards rushing and 16 TDs, and he's hot. 3 straight 100-plus yard games. Even if Jackson is back, doesn't seem like they should back off feeding him. He went for 94 yards versus Pittsburgh in their first meeting, but the Steelers held him to 3.8 a carry. They played Cleveland's rush attack well last week too, held them to 3.1 per attempt.
2nd and 4, give it to him again. Whoa. Hayward's on him.
And he's turned back the hands of time this year.
Pittsburgh held Cleveland to 13 points, 4 for 11 on third down, only let them inside the 20 once, have played pretty good defense their last 4 games, picked off Shedeur Sanders twice, just 186 yards.
Pressure, tip, pick.
What a game-changing play by Highsmith.
They picked off Jackson week 14, held him to a 71 rate. You know he's going to do whatever he can to return. If he can't, it's more Mr. Birds and Bees. They didn't ask Tyler Huntley to do much versus Green Bay, but he had a clean game, 16 of 20 passing with a touchdown, no interceptions for a 105 rate.
Huntley looking towards the end zone, it's caught, touchdown!
Only 107 yards, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, D-Hop, all left the game with fewer than 31 yards each. But when you can get 200 plus handing the ball off, it works. Jackson not the only star we're going to be monitoring either. TJ Watt close to making it back as well. Tomlin has gotten the best of Harbaugh 9 of the last 12 games. This one more or less a playoff game. Winner goes on, loser goes home, like when they played for the 3rd time back in 2008.
To reach the Super Bowl, the Steelers would need to beat the division rival Ravens for a 3rd time.
Everything you got today, baby. Lay it on the line, baby.
The American Football Conference Championship game. The winner goes goes on and plays in Super Bowl 43.
The Steelers opened a 13-0 first half lead.
Ben is back. He steps up. Now he's going to throw it to the near sideline. And it's caught by Santonio. Defender down. Catch to the middle of the field. Gets by another defender. Picks up a block to the 30. Santonio, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Wow! Unbelievable! Well, you talk about making something happen.
That's how you step up and make a play, boy. Good job.
In one of the most physical championship games ever, Pittsburgh's defense once again proved superior to Baltimore's.
We talked about this was going to be a bloodbath, and it is just like we thought it was going to be.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Steelers clung to a 16-14 lead. But momentum had swung to the Ravens.
Don't mean no difference about nothing. We're up 2 points. Finish this game. They don't get nothing, we win. Let's go.
Baltimore needed just a field goal to take the lead. Once again, the Steelers needed a play. What they got was the stuff of legend.
Turnover time, man. Turnover time. Let's go.
The clock at 4:43 and winding. He's back. He waits. He throws the pass, and it's intercepted. John Colomano at the 40, 35, 30. Blackman's at the 25. He's running by right at the 15. He turns and goes for the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. And this place is on fire. What a play by the best safety in the business.
God, you are so awesome.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are on their way to Super Bowl 43 in Tampa. The Pittsburgh Steelers win the AFC title game right here at Heinz Field, and this crowd has loved every single moment.